Hello everyone, hi English readers, and welcome to this new live read along of the graded reader adaptation of Jane Eyre. Hi Katie. I'm Lydie Bureau and I'm an English teacher in France. I'm also the founder of Lydie's book club, in which I host live readings of adaptations of classics or contemporary novels of English literature. I tend to prioritize books that are written by women, and once a week I meet the members of my book club via Zoom to discuss the chapters read over the week. We also talk about books and learning English and daily conversations. For this new live read along for this month, I have added, in addition to the 12 live reading sessions that I had planned to host this month on Instagram and also accessible on replay on my YouTube channel and on Spotify. So far, we have read 10 chapters. So today we are reading chapter 11, and tomorrow, this time I'm saying correctly, tomorrow they're going to be the final live read along of Jane Eyre, chapter 12. So we are at the end of our live reading, and I have prepared 3 live workshops on 3 different Saturdays to discuss those chapters. And this Saturday, we are going to do session 2, because the first session has already been done. And this Saturday, we will discuss chapters 6 to 9. So the chapters that we have read last week. So it's a little bit not synchronized exactly, but because last week I was attending a conference, so that's why I wasn't able to host the live, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I can't wait to discuss the chapters from last week. And you can have access to the different dates and everything in the description of this video. And to have access to this live workshop, you have to be a member of the book club. So make sure you subscribed to the book club by clicking on the link in the description. Or you can have all the links on my Instagram account. So today we are going to read chapter 11 today. And if you would like to know more about Charlotte Bronté's life and the novel Jane Eyre, I invite you to listen to the podcast episode 20, an introduction to Charlotte Brontë and Jane Eyre. This way you have an overview of the novel and the author. So if it's a novel that you're just discovering, then I advise you to do that first before starting to read the novel or to listen to the live reading with us. Okay, so what happened? Let's recap first the chapter that we have read. When was it? Monday. Yes. So chapter 10. Chapter 10, let's recap. We left off, we left Jane and her adventure, Jane's adventure. So we left her at the Moore House. Remember, the Moore House is where the 2 young women and Mr. St. John live, those 3 siblings, the 2 sisters and their brother live at Moore House in the town of Millcote. Is it Millcote? Is it? It is, I think. in the town of Milk. There's so many names of towns and names of houses. Yes, Milkut. So Jane found refuge in this house because she was exhausted, you know, from her departure from the Thornfield house. And yeah, so she is living in this little house that Mr. St. John found. You know, if you remember, Jane was exhausted. She had a little bit of time to recover from the 2 days that she had spent outside and slept outside. And um, when she woke up and she was able to have to talk and had more energy, she asked Saint John for work. She asked him to find her some work so that she could become independent and she wouldn't need to stay at their house. So she got the amazing news. I mean, St. John found her a position as a teacher in a school for orphans or very poor children. And she started working there. She was so happy to find this job and also to have her own house to just next to the school. But this is what we read. Hi guys, thank you. But this is what we read in chapter 11, in chapter 10, where we feel that Jane is not fully happy with her position because she misses Thornfield and maybe the potential life that she would have had with Mr. Rochester. So she kind of is a little bit nostalgic about that, and yeah, she's not quite content with the life that she has as a school teacher in this little town, and she regrets maybe her decision. What if I had stayed at Thornfield Hall? I would have been maybe I would probably be, if I had married Mr. Rochester, maybe I would have I would be traveling Europe. So yeah, she is wondering what her life could have been. So hi Titouan, welcome to this live. What is the book about? Okay, book is B-O-O-K. Okay, so make sure you're spelling. It's an old student writing in English with a lot of mistakes. That's fine. So the book is Jane Eyre, okay, by Charlotte Brontë. I don't know if you've heard about this book, but yeah, this is what we're reading, and it's and today we're going to read chapter 11. Okay, so I finished to recap chapter 10. So Jane is kind of getting on with her job as a school teacher, and one day St. John comes to visit her, as he regularly does, you know, and and one day he comes late in the evening or something. Yeah, I think it's in the evening, and he reveals he wants to talk to Jane, and he's starting by telling her a story, sorry. And this story is Jane's story in the end, because we find out that Saint John and his two sisters are actually Jane's cousins. And I was actually confused about who the parents were, and what the relation between the parents was. So Jane had Jane's father is the brother of her cousin's mother. Okay, so Saint John, Diana, and Maria or Marie, Diana and Mary. Sorry, Mary. These three had a mother. They had a mother, and this mother was the sister of Jane's father. Okay, so that's first information that we learn. And second, another big one is that Jane, that also they had also another uncle. So there were three children, the parents of Jane's father had one sister and one brother. So there were three in total. Okay, so this sister was Saint John and Diana and Mary's mother, and they had this uncle living in Madeira, and is called John Eyre of Madeira, and he is living in Madeira, and we learn that he actually died. And in his will, so in the testament, as we could say as well, so in his will, he gives all his money and property to Jane. So Jane is the only inheritant of her uncle's money and house properties. Yeah. So because her uncle don't have any children, so she's the sole heiress, or the sole heir. And she learns that she is going to inherit of £20,000, which is a huge amount of money. And instantly, she decides, after learning that all of these information, that she will share this money between herself and her cousins. You see how generous and fair she is. She reestablishes justice in a way, because her cousins have been left out without nothing, without anything. And she is reestablishing justice and fairness in towards her cousins. And £5,000, so that would make £5,000 each if we divide 20 by 4, and £5,000 is already enough. So we were actually discussing that in giving this equal amount of money to each of them, then it would empower her cousins, Diana, especially the girls, Diana and Mary. And we see that there is no differences. there is an equal amount between the siblings and Jane. So Saint John is not going to get more than all the others. So in here we see also coming from the author Charlotte Brontë, this willingness to show equality, or to bring awareness or on being on equality and fairness between men and women, yeah, and equal rights as well. So right, so that's what chapter 10 was all about. Now let's get reading. Let's read chapter 11. Okay. A voice in the night. At Christmas, another teacher came to work at the school, and I moved back to Moore House. So now Jane doesn't have to work as a school teacher. Now she is rich, and she's glad as well that the money that she will give to her sisters, the fact that they divide the money and that this money will be given to the sisters, the two sisters or cousins, is the fact that these two girls will not be governesses anymore, but they will be, that will allow them to come back to Moore House and live the life that they want. So in that sense, it's very empowering. They're not going to be working for someone and have to live in their house like a servant, yeah? Because being a governess is, in a way, being a servant, even though you have a higher rank than, you have a higher position than a normal servant. At Christmas, because you're educated. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. At Christmas, another teacher came to work at the school, and I moved back to Moore House to live with Mary and Diana. 6 very happy months passed. Then, one evening, St. John came and walked with me in the garden. "Jane," he said, "it is good that you want to live at Moore House with my sisters, but I hope that you will do better things later." What better things?" I said, a little angrily. "Well," he replied, "I want you to learn one of the Indian languages, Hindustani, perhaps." "Why do you want me to learn that?" "Because I want you to come with me to India when I do my missionary work. I go in 6 weeks. Jane, will you come with me as my wife?" "But what can I do there?" I replied. "I can help you," he said. "You're quiet and modest and intelligent. You can teach Indian children and help their mothers." He waited for me to answer. I thought for many minutes, and then I decided. "I can come to India, but not as your wife," I said, finally. "That cannot happen," he said. A sister can leave me at any time. A wife will stay with me for life. I need a woman who will give her heart to God." "Oh, I will give my heart to God," I said quickly. "But you do not really want my heart." His face changed then. "This is very serious, Jane," he said quietly. I looked at him. His face was handsome, but his eyes were cold. No, I could not do it." "St. John," I said, "I cannot marry you because I do not love you. Your idea of love and my idea of love are very different. You must forget this. I cannot forget this, he replied. Then he turned away. I knew he wasn't happy because of my answer. Late one night, I found him in his garden. He was standing by a small gate. I went and stood with him. I knew that he was leaving for India the next day. St. John, I'm unhappy because you're angry with me. Please, can we be friends? I said, we are family. Of course, he said. I understand. I do not think of you as a stranger. I did not like hearing these words. I think that you hate me, I said. I say again, I can go to India as your sister, but not as your wife. He turned towards me angrily then, and now his face was very pale. I cannot go with a single woman, he said. Could I be his wife? I felt something inside me pulling me towards him. If God wants me to marry you, then I can do it, I said. Really, Jane? He replied, and he began to smile. Then my prayers are answered. He put his arm around me, almost like he loved me. Oh, it's a very short chapter today. It was midnight now. We stood together in the night, and the night was still and quiet. Then suddenly I heard a voice cry, Jane, Jane, Jane. Nothing more. Oh God, what is it? I cried. I knew the voice. It was Edward Rochester. It was Edward Rochester's. And it was wild and full of pain. What have you heard? What did you see? Asked St. John. I am coming, I cried. Wait for me. And that's the end of chapter 11. So here's some mystery at the end. So there is this very peculiar proposal from St. John toward to Jane to get married and to get married in order to work together as missionaries. Well, him as a missionary and her as his wife. But Jane not quite happy she doesn't want to at first, but then she is about to say yes to him, but then she hears a voice, Mr. Rochester's voice, Edward's voice, and here maybe is going to be a turning point here in the story. And this is what we're going to see in the next session. Tomorrow, we will read the last chapter of Jane Eyre, and we will find out. Let's see if it's it's a bit longer. Yeah. So let's see how the story ends. If she if the voice is really Mr. Rochester's voice that she heard, are they going to end together, really? We'll see that next session tomorrow. If you do not read, if you don't spoil yourself, or if you, of course, if you already know the story, you know how it ends. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this live reading in this chapter of Jane Eyre. Make sure you subscribe to the book club to be part of the live workshop. We just have 2 left. This Saturday is going to be our second session, so make sure you join us. I will see you tomorrow for the reading of chapter 12, and I wish you a beautiful end of the day. Bye. Bye.